What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Winners Circle. Oh, horrible news tonight. My boy Tucker is officially donezo. I'm very unhappy about it, but this is a really exciting episode. I have Nicole joining me tonight. We're going to jump into us playing Big Brother together, what it's like to have been in the house together, some of the drama. We're not going to get too much into the drama, but make sure you stick around because that's going to be coming later in the episode. We're going to dive into this season. She's going to give her opinion, and quite frankly, Nicole's a legend of the game. So it's really cool because, to be honest, I think all of us, we don't really see Nicole talk a lot about Big Brother, and quite frankly, she is very deserving to speak on the game because she's a champ. She's won the reindeer games, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And also, her and I have a really awesome brother-sister relationship. I love poking fun. We have a really good, easy conversation, and obviously, it's really fun. So that's going to be coming later in the episode. But if you haven't done so already, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. The channel has been growing. I appreciate everybody. The comments on these episodes have been absolutely incredible to read. One massive shout out has to be to my incredible wife, Christy, who kind of joined me. She had a little bit of a soft launch on the podcast last week. And I have to tell you, everybody in the comments were just absolutely inflating her head. I feel like I should have handed over the mic to her this week. You would have thought, with some of the comments and how strong she felt her presence was supposed to be here on the podcast. So don't worry, she is on the phone. She's going to be joining me here. She's going to be weighing in. She's got some thoughts on Big Brother. It's absolutely a blast to involve her because it's really fun because it allows you guys to get a little bit of insight into what it's like for the two of us sitting on the couch watching this game together. And we have a lot of fun doing it, and we're pausing it. We're constantly talking. We're giving our opinions. And so I really like having her involved. It's been a lot of fun. All right. So jumping into this week, we have a T-Core HOH. And there is a lot to dive into this week. There was a lot of gameplay that I just don't necessarily agree with. There was a lot of things that had happened that I really feel like should have been avoided. There was a lot of sloppy gameplay, in my opinion, on a lot of different sides. And so ultimately, what it gave us, though, is another week of just mayhem. The house gets blown up, and now we're 6 weeks into the Big Brother game, and it feels like you're starting back at square one again. And so it's really been fun and also unique to watch as a viewer, because I know there may be this opinion out there that I just watch this show and I'm analyzing everything that's happening because I'm covering it on the Winners Circle. But to be honest, I also love watching as a viewer. And I'll tell you what, this AI arena twist has brought excitement to every single Thursday night because there's scenarios that are playing out that we don't necessarily know if it's going to happen, and we're waiting for that competition, and it brings excitement back. I have to shout out Mackenzie, who got into that AI arena now on back-to-back weeks and has been absolutely killer in the AI arena. This week was just first class all the way. And I think it's a little bit of a problem for her because there was this persona of Mackenzie, like she was this competitor, right? And literally it is strictly based off of, her having an athletic build and being an athlete, because she wasn't really winning competitions. And now she's starting to win competitions. And I think it's actually going to be harmful to her because they're going to view her as a threat and, view her as an easy person to put on the block. And so it kind of stinks because she didn't get to, kind of build her own persona in the game. It was almost like projected onto her. And so it kind of stinks. And I hate that happens. And quite frankly, it's been happening a lot more for anybody that is an athletic build. It's like you're immediately a comp threat when it's like, there's so many other components to these competitions, and there's strategic elements, there's composure, that you don't have to be the most athletic person to be composed in a competition and do well and be successful. And so Shout out to Mackenzie. She was absolutely incredible in the AI arena. But let's bring it back to T-Core's HOH. So T-Core wins HOH, and this is where you find somebody who did an incredible blow up move because she was at the bottom of the big alliance, the collective. And so she blew up that alliance, blindsided a lot of people with a vote. And then the following week was kind of in a really good position because Tucker won the HOH. Did she need to win this HOH? I don't think so. I think she would have been in a good position. I don't necessarily feel like T-Core would have been on the block. But she wins the HOH. And now her hand is forced into nominations. And when you want to try to please everybody with your nominations because you don't have clear targets, especially in a season where you have to nominate 3 people, you want to try to avoid winning HOH. And T-Core won it, and I respect that she was going for it, but the way that this HOH was handled and, using Tucker as a pawn, unless, which, I think there was a thought in T-Core's head of she wouldn't mind Tucker going because he is a competitive threat, because clearly he's now shown he's very hard to beat in competitions. That's not, you don't want to do the moves for other people in the house on your HOH. If people want to take out Tucker, you allow them to take out Tucker. You don't do that on your HOH. And ultimately, and this is to Tucker's fault again, it's like when T-Core wins the HOH, you don't have a conversation with her where you offer yourself up. You don't want to be on the block at this point, Tucker. You've gone through this game. You've shown everybody that you're a competitive threat. You have a huge ally. T-Core and Tucker are close. Chemo, T-Core, Tucker, Rubina are very tight-knit foursome. You don't offer yourself up to go on the block at this point of the game. There's still so much game to be played. There's still a double eviction that hasn't happened. There's so much more that you can do as a player to protect your allies, and to offer yourself up or just feel like you offered yourself as a pawn to other people, so it's only right to do it to T-Core, is just like, what are we do? What's the strategy behind that? That feels like an emotional decision. And emotional decisions don't get you anywhere in the Big Brother house. And Tucker let his emotions get the best of him this week. And quite frankly, in my opinion, I think Tucker letting his emotions get the best of him this week is why you saw him lose 2 competitions in a row when we hadn't seen that all season, with really good odds for him to win. And it just shows how this edge that you need in the Big Brother house can't be turned off. If at any moment you turn off that edge of competitiveness, strategy, if you ever get comfortable, if you ever feel like you're safe, you leave yourself susceptible to the game blindsiding you. And that's what we saw this week. It was really, really unfortunate because Tucker should have never went to T-Core and said anything but, T-Core, I know I volunteered to other people to be on the block, but I feel like I'm too big of a threat right now, and I want to be able to protect you. You're somebody I want to protect. You're somebody I want to work with in this game and go far with in this game. And I can't do that if I'm in the block, because there are chances that I lose in a competition. And if I lose, I'm going to be too big of a threat to leave on the block, and I'm going to go home. And allowing T-Core to put him up on the block and offering himself like that was just not great. I wish he would not have done that. I didn't like when he was saying it to her. And then on T-Core side as the HOH, you need to stop worrying about like making everybody like you in the house. Everybody has to nominate 3 people. And there's people that are going to protect you, and there's people that you like, but unfortunately you have to nominate. And T-Core didn't know how to decipher those types of relationships in the house. And so we see her now lose a huge asset to her game. Huge asset. Because what I'll tell you what T-Core has shown multiple people in this game is that even if you're in an alliance with her, she is willing to blow it up. She did it with the collective. Even if she's the HOH, she's willing to nominate people that she's aligned with, even if it's just as pawns. And so if you're viewing this game and you're watching and you're observing what's happening in the house, that would make me hesitant with somebody like T-Core, right? Because she's now shown a few times that she is willing to go against people that she's working with. She was willing to kind of go with the flow, send home Brooklyn, kind of be on the outskirts after blowing up an alliance and seeing 3 people that she was aligned with on the block that following week and sending one of them home. And so if you're watching this game from the inside and you're looking at who are the people that I want to align myself with, T-Core is slowly becoming somewhere where I'd be like, I don't know. I just don't know if that's going to be great for me because I don't know where that turns. If I don't make her feel comfortable, she could blow up on me. Even if we're working together, she may want to put me up as a pawn. And that's not somebody you want to be in the house. You want to be the person that if you win, you protect who's close to you. And then if you don't win, you're going to ride for those people and not throw anybody under the bus. Now, she isn't really throwing people under the bus, but I just thought that it wasn't, when you're the HOH, you want the week to go how you plan to go. And she said something this week that I was just like, that's not how it works. It's not like you nominate people and it's up to the house. You nominate the people that you're willing to lose, and then you let the house decide which one of those people are going. You don't nominate people that you're not willing to lose, that you don't want to lose. And maybe she did want Tucker out. Maybe she was willing to lose him. And if that's the case, I still feel like that was a poor play because Tucker would have never done anything to harm her, to backstab her. He literally took a punishment from her and handed her money. That's never somebody you put on the block. You put other people on the block that haven't done anything. Like why she was fighting to keep Leah off the block, I don't know. It should have been, Cam, Mackenzie, Leah, Angela as a replacement. Tucker should have been nowhere near the block this week. Nowhere near the block. So I didn't think that was great. Now, do I feel like T-Core is in a bad position in the house? No, but when you blow up the game and you become somebody that's in the driver's seat, you never want to hand that power back to somebody else. And I don't mind that she did this because I think Chelsea is the best player in the house. But ultimately what she did this week was under her own HOH, she loosened the reins that she had on the game and almost gave Chelsea that just enough space to kind of pop back into the driver's seat. And so you saw this week, Chelsea saw her opportunity. She was not willing to let it go. And she really struck while the iron was hot and took care of business this week. And again, it's kudos to Chelsea. I think she is an absolute gamer. I think she's an absolute gamer. I think, Chemo is doing really well in this game. But again, Chemo is kind of in that passenger seat role to T-Core. And everybody now knows in the house that T-Core and Chemo are attached to the hip and tight. And that's almost as bad as people that are in a showmance because it's almost like, well, if we can't get one, we'll try to get the other and split that up. And you just never want that in the house. So we're seeing that. I have to touch on this. I'm at that point of I'm over the shenanigans from Angela. I cannot believe they're leaving her in the house. She is so clearly a loose cannon. She so clearly cannot be trusted. And just for anybody's game, I don't know who will be willing to play with her at this point because the conversation that we saw between Angela and Tucker was so wild to me. And it just shows when there's somebody who doesn't have a place in the game and they don't really know how to navigate it. So they're just kind of throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks. Because Tucker going to Angela and saying something as small as people are talking about you. It was absolutely true. Then he takes it a step further and says I still have your back and I want to ride with you. And because she doesn't believe that he would ride with her over Rubina, she loses it. And it's just that's all it took for her to then go in and want to try to flip people on Tucker. which to me, if I'm anybody in that house, I'd be like, I cannot play this game with her. For me, Angela would have went home early in the game. I would have never allowed her to stay on the block. There was not one person that was more of a threat than Angela when they sat up there next to her. And I don't necessarily say it as a threat, but more so like, you're not somebody that can help my game because I can't trust you with any information. Everybody else, I could have maybe had conversations with, built relationships with, and trusted more. Like Angela is a very untrustworthy person. She's, for crying out loud, she's sitting underneath a door and listening in, and then barging in on people having a conversation, begging to be a part of an alliance with a group, and then blowing it up like she did something. Like her blowing up that alliance was as if a person walks into a room, creates an alliance with a group themselves. They're the person that created the alliance, and then blows that alliance up. It was like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we actually talking about? You literally were listening at the bottom of a door, jumped into a group that wasn't like open arm welcoming you. None of them knew what to do. You were the one speaking the alliance into existence. And then you blew it up like it was a big secret in the house. Like this wasn't even a big alliance. Like this was a group of 4 people talking that you created an alliance with. They made a name so that, you know, the conversation ended, and then you blew it up like it was something that was working with you. It just was wild. Like someone like that, for me, I can't play the game with them. They're not going to help me. They're only going to hurt me. And so we're seeing a lot of different things. I'll tell you who is making out like a bandit right now, and that is Quinn. Quinn is making out like a bandit. T-Core literally did the dirty work for Quinn and Chelsea, got an ally of hers that would never put her on the block out of the house, which then helps Quinn because if other people win, say Cam wins, T-Core is an easy person to put on the block. Cam can put her right on the block. If a Mackenzie wins, T-Core is somebody that can be put on the block. Quinn didn't put these people on the block. So you're getting out allies that wouldn't put you up and leaving people in the house that if other people win, that those people are going to be safe and you're going to be up. You're going to be one of the people on the block. So I don't think it was very strategic, which quite frankly is what we're seeing a little bit in this game. There's a lot of short-sighted moves that are being made with not a lot of longevity outside of people like Chelsea. Like, I mean, excluding Chelsea, because Chelsea kind of makes moves with a long-term goal in sight, and it does a really great job of executing it. And I'll say another thing just to give kudos to Chelsea again. Chelsea's on the block the week prior, has a chance of going home. The following week doesn't win power and still has somebody that goes home that nominated her, that was a threat to her, that was talking about targeting her, and she had no power in the week. That to me is a big brother player through and through. That's a gamer. That's somebody who is using their influence in the game. That's somebody who knows how to plant seeds. And so for me, Chelsea is like the most threatening player in this game. And quite frankly, I think Chelsea can win this game. I think she's a great player. So it's been really exciting to watch. We're 6 weeks in. I have no idea what's going to happen. There's no telling who wins the HOH, and there's no telling how that HOH runs their week. It's very interesting because it's crazy that the numbers are dwindling quite a bit, especially when you have to nominate 3 people. So I'm excited for how this is going to shake out. Tucker goes home. I have to say, I haven't been doing any interviews for people that have been evicted. I will be reaching out to Tucker. I will be trying to get him on the podcast once he gets home and settles in, and maybe I'll have him on a weekly recap to talk about what's going on in the game. I'm very eager to have a conversation with him and really just sit down in a setting and just be like, brother, what was your strategy? Like, what was the strategy throughout this game when it comes to decisions and relationships and who you trusted versus who you didn't trust? Like, or were you just going week to week and just trying to figure it out as you go? Which there's nothing wrong with that, but I just felt like he could have done a lot of things differently and ended up in a little bit of a better position and quite frankly still be in the house. All right, so that's all I got for the recap. We're gonna jump into my conversation with Nicole next, and so make sure you are down in the comments, letting me know what you guys think. Do you think T-Core had a good HOH? Do you think she kind of lost the reins a little bit on this week where she had all the power? Or do you think she's just fine and she's going to be able to kind of reinvent herself in this game and still be just fine? Let me know what you guys think. Without further ado, let's jump into my conversation with the Big Brother 18 season winner and the Reindeer Games inaugural season winner, Nicole. All right, we are joined by the absolute legend herself, the two-time Nicole Franzel. Not only have you won Big Brother, you won the inaugural Reindeer Games. I'm absolutely honored to have you on the podcast. I can't believe that you joined, some of us little people that you smoke in the game and jumped on here. I really do appreciate it. It's so much fun. This is the first time I think anybody is like going to see a normal conversation between the two of us outside of the Big Brother game.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. And it is weird like talking to you outside of the game because our relationship has just been like Big Brother too many times. Let's be honest.
It's
but no, I'm glad to be here, and I don't do interviews often. I do trust you. It's weird. Like we have this like brother sister relationship. I think we hate each other.
Nicole, why wouldn't you trust me? I've never done anything to betray your trust.
I know.
It's
but
crazy.
Hey, it doesn't really carry out in real life. It did for a few years, but
I can't remember. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you referring to? Around 2020, there was something. I don't know. What was it? What happened?
Don't even. You cut me last minute. But I'm glad you did warn me, and I appreciate that. I know that it was hard for you, and I'm glad you did warn me because I would have probably fainted because I would not have seen it coming.
It was absolutely impossible. I think you mentioned it just a second ago, just saying like the brother-sister relationship that we have. Yeah. So you were 22 at the time?
I was 21.
21 at the time. Mm-hmm. It's just like, it's so weird to think back to that because it's like that's 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago now. It's like, you're married, you have a kid, I'm married. Like, it's just, it feels like decades ago. But I honestly do feel like our relationship started with that friendship on season 16.
Yeah.
We were super, super close. And it was crazy to, like, honestly, in both seasons, it kind of sucks because I don't want it to make it seem like it tarnishes our relationship because it's the game, and part of the game kind of like brings certain negativity to like backstabbing or things like that. But like always have genuinely absolutely adored you like a sister. You've been one of my favorite people. And I've always had like a comfort in going and playing these games because I've never entered the Big Brother house without you.
Yeah, that is crazy. I feel bad for you a little bit though. I wonder if it's better without me.
Well, I'm never going back, so I won't be able to tell you, to be honest.
That's funny. No, I do think that it is really, really odd. Like even seeing you on Reindeer Games, we hadn't spoken up to that point, right? So I've still felt a comfort in you, which is like either like you're just like a really good gamer, which I know you are really, really good. But I was like, it's hard to tell if this is like a genuine, because I find comfort in you whether it's genuine coming from you or not. Like I just feel that. So I do gravitate towards you, even though you just stabbed me in the back like really bad a couple years ago. I still would pick you to play the game with over anyone else in there, which is just, isn't that kind of really weird?
Yeah, because I also think that you know that it's genuine, even though you say like I'm a gamer.
I know.
Like you know that it's genuine, and you also know that even on the All-Star season, like not telling you wasn't even a thought, like it wasn't even an option. You know what I mean? So it was like,
yeah, no, I do like appreciate that so much. Oh my gosh, I would have literally, but then I do know you effed up my speech because I couldn't even think straight because I was just like, no way. And I might have had like a really killer, no matter what I said, you weren't taking me, no matter what I said.
No.
Because then I was just like, we're like so close, and it's just like, oh my gosh, that was just awful. But
no, I mean, listen, if we can bring it back to just a game perspective for a second, it's like, you had won the game, and it's like I had known you before the game, and you know we were close, and especially after season 18 with the relationship that you had with my brother.
Yeah.
And then I just had this like relationship with Enzo, and then it became this game of like, okay, I really trust the both of them, but like Nicole has won the game. Why would I sit next to her? And it just was like, but it didn't, making that decision wasn't easy, and it didn't make it any easier to know like logically.
Was it personal though? Because I know
I personally did not want you there. I was like, done.
No,
God, Nicole, I don't want to hear her speech.
You would have won against either of us. But did you genuinely think that you had a better chance against Enzo, or were you just like, I'm closer with Enzo. Enzo's my bro. I'm taking him to the end.
Yeah, I think that's
exactly.
A really,
just tell the truth.
No, it's a really difficult question to answer, because going into it and us early on, it was like, even early on, I was nervous about our relationship, where I never had that like moment with Enzo where it was like, I just always trusted Enzo. We always had that like, and we always had, not to, be corny about it. We had the guy connection. Like, we were both idiots. We both would spew stupid stuff. Like, you would see us. Like, we would just make people laugh. We're both New Jersey idiots, Italians. Like
that makes sense.
Even us going into the game, like, I was like, I know Nicole isn't going to backstab me, but like, could she? Maybe.
Right. No, I get that. Because that was the one season I didn't feel fully, the only season out of the 3 I played that I didn't feel fully supported and trusted by my best ally. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I felt when I was sitting next to Christmas on the block, I'm like, I didn't feel secure. And then like when I played with Corey or whatever, I knew there was no way in heck he would vote. Like, and then the first time with like Hayden, I knew like there was just that like connection that he would not go against me. And I didn't have that with you. And like, you were the best I had, and I was just trying to make it work. Obviously, you were great. You got me you won a lot of comps and stuff, but I tried with Christmas.
Double eviction, Nicole, or the triple eviction. Triple evict. I was your rock.
No, you were. But I didn't know which way it was going to go, and you didn't know which way it was going to go.
The triple eviction?
Yeah. Did you think of...
There was no way you were going home.
Anyways, I know what you're talking about. You had that with Enzo, and I'm jelly. I didn't have it.
I know. It kind of stunk, because I hate... It doesn't feel right comparing the two, to be honest, because it's just like, it's different. Right? It's just different. It's just a different relationship. It's like, our relationship had trust. Like, but there was always that component of like, I know you're close with Danny. I know there were other people that you were close with. So I was like, I know we're writing, and I know we speak very openly to each other. But I was like, what if it did come down to, me, or maybe like a Christmas, or maybe a Danny? I was like, I do feel confident, but so that's why it just, throughout the game, it would make me kind of gravitate a little bit closer to Enzo in a certain degree, but it wasn't like I could say it firsthand, and I think any of the producers that would be able to talk about it would be say that I was a mess the whole time. They would ask me the entire season, who's your number one, Nicole or Enzo? And I'd be like, they're both my number ones. I don't know what to tell you. Like, one's here. It depends on the week. I don't really know what to tell you. Like, I can't give you a straight up answer. Yeah. So, and it just kind of sucks.
It's hard. Yeah. And I tried with Danny, and it's not that I didn't trust her. It's just, you have to feel that connection. You have to feel like no matter what, they're going to choose you. And I just didn't feel that whole season. And that was the hardest season to play because of that. It's really hard. Like, when I'm watching the house guests this season, like, Mackenzie seems so alone, and I'm just like, how is she's crushing it, but in like being alone like that is so hard. So she has less alliance members, it seems like, but I'm saying like, I give her so much credit for just being able to stay in there and fight, because it's hard when you don't feel like you have a team behind you.
No, that's a really, honestly, Nicole, it's almost like you've podcasted before. It's a perfect segue into the season, Yeah. And so I think you see that with a few people, right? Like, you've been watching the season. You've been seeing different people that have been playing the game.
Yeah.
And Mackenzie seems to be that way. Leah seems to be that way. Like, she doesn't seem to really have a grasp on where's the house go, which way is the game navigating. It's almost just like she maybe has Quinn. And honestly, to your point, it kind of stinks because the best way to play the game is with at least one person that you're like, if they're in that room, don't worry about it. And I'm sorry that we didn't have that on 22 because that stinks. Because I did want you to feel that way.
I did feel it to a certain extent, but obviously, like, it was correct what I was feeling. So, I mean, that's why I'm a good player. I can really tell where people are, where they're headed. You know what I mean?
Are you?
Yes.
Are you one of the best players?
One of them. Maybe.
I think so.
Who knows?
I think so.
But yeah, no, I think, yeah, I know. Having one person at least, and I feel like, why doesn't Leah and Mackenzie just team up? They have nobody really. And they're friends. There's a lot of friends going on. Okay, and I just want to say, like, before I start talking about this season, to be on your pod, I like was like binging it, like trying to know who are these people. And so for the first few episodes, to be fair, I just like cut to the comps. And I didn't know, like, I'd say for the first, like, I don't know, there's so many episodes that you have to catch up on. But for the first, like, 10 episodes, let's say I just hit, like, the big moments. And so I don't want anyone coming for me. I know nothing from Twitter or X or whatever. I just want to say I'm watching as a casual viewer on the TV. And I think that I have a lot of opinions on the season, but I think it's, like, good. And okay, you take over because I'm about to, like...
No, yeah. You keep going. Also, I want to interject to just say one thing, and it's everybody know, like, for all the live feeders out there, take a back seat and relax. We're not scrolling.
I don't watch live feeds.
The live feeds.
I don't even read tweets. I don't have
that's what I do.
Whatever.
That's my extent of.
So you do kind of at least know people's opinions of people, and I don't. It's just like scary because it's like. No, we don't like this person because this, and this, and we dug into their background for like 20 hours and we found this. I'm like, okay, I'm on here as a casual viewer, okay?
So give us the Nicole Franzel, Arroyo.
It's still Franzel, but it will be hyphenated soon.
All right, cool. I apologize.
You're fine.
Casual Big Brother legend / champion view of the game, watching it as a casual. I said casual like 6 times there, but we'll move on.
This season you're talking about? Yeah. So I'm entertained. I am super entertained, and thanks to Tucker. Sadly, he's gone Tucker? Now. Okay, so I wanted to ask you about that. My mom told me that you guys know each other. Are you friends?
Yeah. Well.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He's like obviously making the season, but now he's gone.
I know, devastating. I'm so upset that he's gone.
Do you think they'll have okay, I missed this. Is there a 9-person alliance or is it 7-person?
So there was an
not alliance. I'm sorry, jury.
Oh, so they haven't announced it yet, but it seems to be going towards that 7-person jury right now because he's the 6th person evicted and they haven't made the announcement. So I'm assuming it's just going to be announced as a 7-person jury.
They're going to try to get him back in. You don't think they're going to do a buyback for him?
I don't think so because
is there stuff? Are these people being released to the outside? I guess I don't know. It
seems to be that way. Like Brooklyn was the last person evicted and she came out, and so Tucker, I mean,
dang.
At the end of the episode, I didn't really see, but she was interviewing him like he was coming home.
Yeah.
But yeah, we knew each other from New York City. Yeah, met him after Big Brother 16.
What a character.
Had no idea he was going on this show.
No? Oh, you didn't know. He didn't ask you for advice?
So he texted me asking about the interview process. And I was like, bro, just be yourself. Just show your personality.
Yeah.
Kind of equate it to the game. And I never heard from him after that. And
awesome.
then cut to he's on the...
he was such a great cast. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Good job. Yeah, no, he was so, so good. So, no, I'm super entertained. Watching it as a casual viewer, and then obviously as a player, it's completely different. I'm confused a lot of the time. I'm confused what's going on. I mean, kind of like what Tucker said tonight, like, we're on varsity and it's just like, are these people from JV or what? Like, get your crap together. They need to
so
start.
you think?
I think they need to start forming better alliances and stuff. I don't know. It just doesn't seem very
Cohesive. The alliances.
yeah, cohesive. Like they
Yeah.
I've never seen so many alliances break up in like 2 days. And being aligned with everyone in the house is obviously an issue, and everyone's already like aligned with everyone somehow. I don't know. I like when there's sides in the back and forth.
Yeah.
And that's not really it was happening a little bit, but Tucker's the only reason I feel like that we're surprised by anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's also another person that's super surprised. Angela is a mess. This lady is a mess. So that was the biggest entertaining aspect was Angela early on, and now I'm over her. Like honestly, I'm at the point like her tears have just been like they don't seem genuine, which I hate to even say that, and I apologize to her family if they hear it, but it seems I'm just like ugh, I'm over it. But Tucker was going in, and he didn't seem to be strategic.
Right.
And so it seems like there's a lot of people that have short-sighted strategic moves that don't have any longevity to it. Like even I'll use an example, like even T-Core and Chemo, like the short term of blowing up the big alliance that they were in, the collective was good, but like what's the long-term play if you're just going to then win HOH and then put members of your alliance on the block? So like what is your long-term play?
That really bugged me because they could have had control. Like why now they're obviously on the outs. Like they just realized now the votes were 5-3 and the House flipped on them on your HOH and you put up 2 of your own alliance members. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't quite make sense to me. But
well, I understand the Angela nomination because, like, she literally, I mean, did you see the episode? I know you said you fast forward to the comment. She's listening at the bottom of the HOH door. I was like, what am I watching?
I get it, but still, that was a vote for Tucker.
Nicole, I thought you were going to say you get Angela. Listen, have you ever put your ear to the bottom of a door to listen what people were saying on the other side?
She is such good TV. Like, people do want her out and stuff, but I just like, how boring is it going to be without her? She's nuts. And I love when she walks into the HOH room and is just like, I feel like I'm going home. And they're like, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it's so awesome to watch. I love it.
Oh my God. It is really fun to watch. Christy and I just like chew her up on the couch when we're watching. We're like, when she walked in the room, that was a perfect example. Like this week, she walks in just with the pout on her face, and it's like, I'm going home, aren't I? And it's like nominations haven't even happened yet. Like, what are we talking about?
You would not tolerate her. She would have already been gone if you were in that house because you do. And I get it too. Like as a player, I wouldn't want to necessarily I don't like to play with the people that flip like on a dime. Zach Rance was an example. And it's really hard because you could have the best game going and you could trust this person and then they just reveal your game to anyone because they're just feeling like it in that moment. And so, yeah, I wouldn't want to play. I feel like I would be like just distance myself from from her just because I wouldn't want her to know anything about me. I'd rather be her enemy than her ally because I feel like her allies get screwed worse than her enemies. Does that make sense?
No, it's an absolutely incredible point. We talked about this. They didn't really show it when we did the that episode for CBS, like the recap. And I just was like, I was almost going back and forth.
Oh shoot, I fast forwarded that episode. No offense. I really did. Was it good?
I'm not going to talk about it. Go back and watch. Like, what are we talking about here?
Okay, go ahead.
But I was talking with Taylor and Jag, and they were like, keep her in the house, pull her in. I'm like, that is not the person that you pull close to you in this game of Big Brother. She is a loose cannon. She doesn't know how to keep information to herself. She doesn't believe you. Even if you use a veto on her, and all because of something as small as Tucker saying, you're my number one over Rubina, let it go. That type of player I cannot play the game with, and in turn I can't have in the house because then it's a number for somebody else that isn't going to be my number. So I'd be like, they got to go. Like that person, she would have had to have gone in like the first couple of weeks for me.
Yeah, no, totally. And I feel that too. I can't do exactly, the back and forth. As a viewer, I love her, As a game player, I feel like I would distance myself from her, and that would be best for my game. And when the time's right, I'd get her out, because having Tucker on your side obviously is amazing. So people voting tonight, yeah, I get it. He's a great competitor. And take him out when you can, I guess. But also, I feel like that other side, kind of like T-Core and stuff, could have really used him to their advantage. And now I feel like they're going to be on the outs for a while, and Chelsea's probably going to, take hold of the game and rock it out.
Yeah, so Chelsea, I thought, had control of the game early, lost control of the game, and then they just handed it back to her.
Yeah, for sure.
Why you would allow somebody that is going to ride for you, like Tucker would have rode for T-Core and Chemo, to be on the block and go home, was just such a poor move as an HOH. But yeah, so I don't want to keep you too long. Obviously, this has been a lot of fun. I feel like we could sit on here for a very long time.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll come back for like a 2-hour episode, like an exclusive. But I do have to ask you, you've won Big Brother. You've gone to the final 3. You've won the BB Reindeer games. Is it safe to say that you've closed the chapter on those doors walking through the Big Brother house again?
Yeah, I think at this point going back would just be really silly, and I wouldn't. I don't think that there's anything there for me. But it's sad. It's sad for me to think about, like, not going back through the doors, even if it's for a host of competition or something. To play the game, yeah, I'm done. But
no, I'm talking about strictly playing. I'm not talking about hosting. I'm talking about 90 days.
No, I'm not doing it again. I mean, I'm like, no. Nicole,
the thought of playing Big Brother again, first of all, I had a nightmare going into this Big Brother season. And second of all, it makes me anxious. Like, my heart races. I don't think I could handle that game again.
Well, and you did very good. And so you were playing the game. I don't know how much you were actually enjoying yourself.
Right.
The first time I really enjoyed myself.
I agree.
Playing is a lot different than just riding the ride. So if you're actually playing to win, it's exhausting. I dream about Big Brother 2 to 3 times a week. I'm in the house. Yeah.
No way, Nicole.
Yeah, I'm in the house. You're usually there.
What? Am I backstabbing you again? No way.
No, I swear. And so that's why I don't really watch Big Brother.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. I wake up and I'm fine.
That's
but
a nightmare.
I know. It's just always, I'm always getting called back, and I'm always, on the outs, and I'm always, it's just weird. It's like like you said, 10 years ago was our first journey on this show. 10 years ago. And I'm still having nightmares / dreams about it. But that's why I don't normally watch the seasons, which now I feel like I can. Like, being a mom and going back on reindeer games, I feel like I'm not envious of these people playing in this house anymore. Like, hey, that's my house. Because to admit, like, I loved Big Brother so much that I was like, I just want to, like, go back all the time. And now I don't feel that. So I'm, like, able to watch and enjoy it without feeling like any type of way. So I'm able to watch this season and feel good about it, and not also, like, my nightmares aren't that bad, anymore.
They're not like nightmares in the sense of you wake up and you're like heart racing. They're just nightmares where you're like, why am I dreaming about this twice a week?
Now, yeah. So I did have panic disorder for a few years, where I'd wake up with my heart racing. I've gone to the hospital a few times. It's awful. If anyone has it, it's awful. What I'm dreaming about prior to that, I don't know. Like, I don't have any recollection at all.
Wow.
So the chances could possibly be Big Brother, but I don't know. So I'm over that, and I'm really happy about that, because that was rough.
Yeah, I think people don't realize. I mean, you've been in the house for prolonged periods multiple times. So each time you've played, like, even on 16, you were in the house for
77 days.
Yeah, majority of the game. You're 18 the entire game, 22 the entire game, and so it's like, it really is a traumatizing experience to have your head in that game mode for that amount of time, and it's hard to just, like, shake it and then you get called for it again and you go back, and then it's like it reopens the wound because it never really fully heals unless you're just like, I'm done. I'm away from it.
Yeah.
And so
Is that
people
where
don't
you're
realize
at?
that. I'm at the point now of the games make me too anxious to even care to put myself through it. I love
Yeah.
talking about them. I love
Yeah.
watching them. But I also feel like on 22, I had to be so cutthroat in order to win the game, which you understand because you have to be cutthroat and willing to cut anybody to win. And once you lose that edge, you're not winning these games. Simple.
It's true.
In my
Because
opinion, it's
I wasn't
just
going to cut you and I would have lost. And that's my downfall right there. And I would have, living with that would have probably been, maybe you saved me. Maybe that would have been more difficult for me to live with like, I don't know. So I get it. Like, I didn't have that edge in me in 22. I didn't. In 18, I was out for blood. Like, I didn't care.
I understand it through and through, and I don't think people understand that component of when you're out for blood and you don't care, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody will deal with whatever you do after the fact. You play the game differently,
Mm-hmm.
and you play with like you're cutthroat. And
Yeah.
in order to win these games, you have to be cutthroat. And I just learned that after 22, I was like that cutthroat edge.
Mm-hmm.
Do I feel like doing it anymore? Do I feel like I don't
Yeah.
find joy in it, to be honest? Some people find joy in it, and those are like
Yeah.
the Johnny Bananas of the world. They're like, I
Yeah.
don't care, backstab
Mm-hmm.
anybody, I don't care. For
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm like, I don't find joy in it, so I'm like, I did it once. It was great to win. I don't know that I really have that edge to be like, yeah, I'll cut everybody's throat or backstab anybody I have to. That was a little harsh
Mm-hmm.
right there, but you get what I
No, I
mean,
get it. I get
right?
it. It is a game. It just doesn't feel like a game for those in there playing. And for people who don't play, I can't even explain it. Like, my family doesn't understand. You
Mm-mm.
know, Vic does understand,
Yeah, he
which
gets
is
it.
nice. But like, you don't really understand, because even when I'm watching this season, I'm forgetting, and I'm like, why is this person, like, wanting to go home, or why is this person not fighting harder? And it's like, because like the mental Nicole, like, out of all people, how can you forget like that,
Hmm.
what this actually does to you? So no, I don't even know who I would be without Big Brother. It's totally changed me and shapes me, and I'm
Oh,
thinking
totally.
hopefully for the better. I don't
It's
know. I mean,
definitely for the better.
it's given me so many opportunities. So in that aspect, it's better, as far as like me trusting and my personality and anxiousness and being introverted. I don't know, but either way, I'm so grateful. Like, I love it. I do. I'm so thankful that they chose me.
Yeah,
And yeah,
totally.
I mean,
I think I think that we play this game even in real life. There's like a component of like a trust barrier, like who are you going to open yourself up to? And I think as humans, we deal with that normally. So I think it's a normal thing. But I think in real life, for me, what's helped me just be like, I'm done is that in the game, you almost can have your trust broken, but you have to like eat it a little bit and say, well, I have to I don't want to go home, so I have to let this continue to happen. Whereas in life, I'm like, if somebody
yeah.
breaks the trust, I'm like, then I'm done. I don't need to deal with you anymore in my life. Like, this isn't a game to me. So I think that's what's helped me be like, all right, I'm not playing a game in real life because I'm just like,
And
I
I
don't need
agree.
people. I don't need people. I have my family and my
I know.
friends.
That's
So,
how I am. My mom's like, you need to be better, because I do. You screw me over once in real life, I'm done with you. And it's like not
mhm.
the best. Like, I get forgiveness and stuff. I am like getting into forgiveness, okay? But it just won't be the same, sadly. And so I do keep my circle really small, and they're just the best people ever. And that's just how I roll, I guess. Less is
Well,
more.
something really exciting just happened. Your circle just got a little bit bigger because you
Oh, because
just
my brother got married.
joined somebody to the family. So
Yes,
congratulations to your
yes. Thank
brother. That was
you.
an awesome wedding. Family
Yeah.
grows, and that's great. The family will continue to grow as you have more kids and all that fun stuff. So yeah, it's been an absolute joy, Nicole. I'm not going to keep you any longer because I know you're a mom. You got to get to bed because I know Arrow, he'll be up and you'll be like, I was on the podcast too late.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't want to take you for too long. I really, really appreciate you coming on here. It's
I feel
obviously it's
like
so nice to
we
talk.
should do a deep dive. I feel like into one time, a deep dive into just like what it is like living in the house. I feel like we should. Or you don't want to?
You don't got to tell me twice. We'll do a deep dive into that entire component, like this, because I think it would be unique to hear from two different perspectives, right? Like your side of how being in there and that social component, and my side of being in there and that social component, and because
you're extroverted, right? Would you consider you're very social? Like your social game is just the way we both have different social games. It's very interesting. Mine is kind of quiet and it's
observant.
in yours just like everywhere with everyone, and it's just so interesting. And a player like me is intimidated by a player like you, and that's why I have to have you on my side, because I'm not like you. So it's just it's super interesting, like how I don't know.
It's a good balance. I think for me, I have like an extroverted personality, but I have like this introverted component to me as well, where it's like the more I do it, the more drained I get, and then the more I need to check out and be away from people.
No, I see
and
that.
That's
I can
hard
see
to do in Big Brother. Like you can't check out.
No.
And when you do, you always get that conversation of like, is everything okay? And that would drive me crazy. I'd be like, yes, everything's fine.
Like I'm observing you from a distance. I'm like, is you okay? I get it.
I just have that battery. So there's like an introverted component to it. But yeah, it would be really, really cool. We'll take a deep dive into like, I think the side of Big Brother that people don't really know, not the game and strategy and recapping the episode, but just like what you go through as a human being living in this crazy social experiment. I think that would be a really cool combo.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, cool. I'll get you on the books for next week. We'll do the same time next week.
All right.
No, I appreciate it, Nicole. Listen, do you have anything going on? I mean, everybody follows you. I see your stuff on socials anyway, but it's like the corny podcast thing. Like, Nicole, let everybody know where they can find you,
Well, you know what? Me and my mom are about to start our podcast back up.
I have to be a guest.
Yes.
Let's go.
Well, you and your mom, how about?
Oh my God, my mom would never do it. Never in a million years.
She wouldn't? Even
never.
Just audio?
Never in a million years.
Oh, darn.
Oh my God, never.
Well, we're going to start our podcast back up. We are, what else? Oh, I'm a school nurse now.
We love that.
And I was going to say, touch on one thing. When you said that, like, how you're in the house, your mind's constantly working, I feel like I have, like, 4 jobs because I need my mind to constantly be working.
Yeah.
So I just fill my life to the absolute top, but I totally feel not overwhelmed, kind of. So, I'm just doing it all, I guess, and just seeing how it goes. And, you can find me on Instagram as Coconuts. And we're starting a family YouTube channel. We have our first video done. Yeah. So
love that.
I'm excited for that too.
Oh my God.
You can check me out
I love it.
at all those places. But I do think this is a great season. Like, I'm excited to continue watching. I'm sad Tucker's gone.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm entertained, and that's all that matters, right?
That's exactly right.
That's what they want.
This is why we watch television. We watch for the entertainment. Right?
Thanks for having me, Cody.
Nicole, thank you so much for joining me here. I really appreciate it. And everybody else, we'll see you next week. All right, guys. So that wraps it up for this week. We had the recap early on. I had my conversation with Nicole. I really appreciate you guys. If you've made it all the way to the end of this episode, I need a fire emoji in the comments. I'm calling you out again. If you made it to the end of this episode, give me a fire emoji in the comments, because this to me felt like a banger. I appreciate you guys joining me on the Winners Circle. Make sure you are liking, subscribing, and turning on those notifications. I'll be back next week.